Hello everyone, welcome back to part 6, Free for All. Um, so I lost like 8 turns here, 8 or 9 turns, sorry for that, my recorder stopped after that bug, after that game crash, so um, there are 8 or 9 turns missing. At this point I was just building up my cannons, and all of the cannons that I had I brought them to the close to Budapest so I could clear those some of the Budapest's units. It was really important to do it because the city state wouldn't stop harassing me, and at this point sorry for that. um, Something wrong with my microphone. Okay, so at this point Dynamite is finished in 5 turns, and why did I move my cannons there? Because I'm going to get a settler. That's plan. Get a settler and make a city as close as possible to the Byzantine's capital, so I could actually use um, use my great general. You saw that I gained 30 signs per turn for uh, picking another social policy from rationalism, and that was the plus 2 signs from every specialist. Um, so here I decided to um, I shouldn't have. I was going for the library just so I could eventually get the Oxford University after a university in that city, and the idea was to get workshop so I could get my wonder from national wonder from all the workshops in my cities. I forgot how it's called. um, yeah, this is the last part of this game. uh, so I would actually need 3 more turns, which was a pain to wait, but I would get a few more units from my other cities that were already building. So uh, I could say that that wasn't so bad. I got a musketman there because I didn't have horses at that time. So I've got a musketman to help me defend against the crazy Budapest. Uh, Here I'm going to buy some tiles so I could actually use to deny his uh, grateful benefits with my great general. So that could be the plan. Um, so I'm keeping that worker there just in case I need to repair some other tiles. With this force here, it should be enough to start the siege. I got like 5 cannons, I think, and like 3 or 4 cavalry units. Uh, that doesn't change the fact that Budapest is uh, in the way of me going to the front with my units, so I would actually need to deal with them before I could. And that's the reason why I always like to build a city on the hill so my ranged units can actually attack. so I'm gonna go a longer way around. I'm gonna leave that cannon there and upgrade to artillery as soon as possible so I could clear some of his units, so that musketman will help a bit with the defense. So he still does, he has knights, which is a big thing. I'm not sure for which, at this point I'm not sure for which techs he went for. Uh, Next is scientific theory. Then I will go for flight as soon as possible, hoping that I will have some oil in my lands, and this amount of units should be enough to take the Byzantines' capital. The Aztecs are, I think I checked on them, they probably gave all of their units to the Byzantines because they were at 0% military value. So I guess they did that. I'm just gonna upgrade my artilleries and slowly move towards him. Those knights will protect my artilleries. As you can see, I got two more crossbowmen, which are actually, oh, not two, three more crossbowmen. So I'm gonna place them in the front line. Uh, uh, I value my night cavalry a lot more at this point than my crossbowmen, even though they are ranged attack. So I'm just going to try and damage his units, make his units attack them as much as possible. I'm slowly gonna move my artillery forward, so that cannon, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 artillery units at the moment, with 3 cavalry units and 3 crossbowmen units. So that would be pretty decent. Um, and more of them are incoming, so I'm saving that great scientist for um, bigger techs. And you can see that I have 2 workers really close. I really just wanted to tease him here because uh, earlier on he became an ally with his the Aztecs. So it if the Aztecs didn't help him there, I probably wouldn't have been able to take his capital early on, but I would inflict a lot more damage. So here I saw that he has a Gatling gun, which was a kind of a relief, because Gatling guns are strong, but they're not really that good against cavalry and against artillery. At this point, the best defense would be horse units. So So Budapest was still uh, pretty annoying. I'm gonna use those workers to build roads for my artillery, so they could move and attack, move 2 tiles and attack in the same turn, which was really important, and keep them around just so I could uh, repair my citadel, future citadel. Here I'll just order the attacks. You can see his pikemen moved on the cavalry spot, and I think that his pikemen actually attacked my cavalry, managed to attack, not sure. So here I will have to move my cavalry units in front of my artillery, because I can't afford to lose any artillery. I mean, can, but shouldn't really. Uh, my road got pillaged there, which was really bad. And finally I got Budapest under control. That really slowed me. If I didn't have to fight Budapest at this point, I would have had like 2 more artilleries, 2 more cavalry units, which would be a big difference. Um, so you can see it takes a while until it reacts, but just okay. So that cavalry moved on a wrong place, because it considered artillery was still there and it had to move wrong. So I wasted a misfortunate way of losing one action for the same for one turn. I should have had that musketman killed. Anyway, still I'm doing pretty decent. I lost all of my crossbowmen. As I could say, I got freed of my crossbowman burden. Um, and I'm building more cavalry units, because this should be sufficient enough, this amount of artillery. Um, the units that I am losing are cavalry, and I have to have them in front of my uh, artillery. So you can see the Aztecs have 0% of military, and I'm almost 1200. So at that time, 2 of the artilleries fired almost instantly when I clicked, which was like, what the fuck? Shouldn't you like need 5 seconds to react? And so having roads here all around is a lot useful. Um, I don't have any horses anymore. So I'm gonna go another musketman, and eventually I'll need to buy a musketman for the citadel, since cavalry doesn't benefit from the Therian defense bonus. So any mountain unit would be a waste, as you can see. And that great general was right on time. I mean, um, now I could have 2 great generals. He would have one probably. So saw that horseman was dancing around me. As you can see, he bought some tiles here so he could force me to spend more movements, but still I was already in the place there. I didn't really need those artillery units to move a lot from there, so and by stealing his lands with the great general would relieve me from that penalty. So Gatling guns at this point, they are strong. You they will retaliate when you attack them with melee unit. So at this point, in this case, I would um, lose some HP on my cavalry. And I managed to get that citadel up without any problems. Um, I got his both luxury resources, so he's probably in pretty negative amount. And his city is going to fall really quick. Um, though I can't really ignore his units, especially units that are right in front of the city. So I need to deal with the those units. As you can see, I moved my cavalry in front so he can't actually steal my citadel, which would slow me a bit there if he managed to steal my citadel. Uh, so I will try to get that citadel, but I won't. I decided not to pillage it. I wanted to take it with my great general. So I'm gonna move my great general towards it, and if I get that citadel, even the units in his capital will suffer the 30 HP penalty. I mean 30 penalty per turn, 30 damage. So I'm still with the same number of artillery units. I'm looking really strong at this point. Got some good position. Um, I will just have to try and get that citadel there, which isn't really a big problem, but still. So at this point, I lost. He did kill my unit and managed to pillage that citadel, which is still okay. Um, at this point, I should have just maybe went for his capital, straight for his capital, with my units. Um, but I decided to take care of those Gatling guns. and the Aztecs might be giving units to the Byzantines, so I'm not sure about that. So three of my artilleries can attack his capital now. At this point I realized that my road was pillaged, but it really didn't matter a lot. I wasn't moving there. Uh, so I should have moved at least that worker there. But anyway, so I needed a musketman just so I could um, fortify him in a citadel. So those lancers are not really a piece of cake for my units here. It, I could say those are one of the best defense he could actually have. At this point, cavalry would probably be better, but still better lancers than knights. So we had a quick reload here. We got desynced, so I had to be fast and try to kill his units. I pillaged his horses there. Uh, so I saw his great general, and I was ready to wait for him if he moves. So so that was really that was really misfortunate for him because uh, at that time my unit moved instantly. There was no lag, so so I was preparing for that great general to. I mean, I knew he was gonna move there, or but I wasn't sure if that was gonna be the case. I mean, that was gonna be the same turn. That even if he managed to steal my two citadels, I would pillage the one where my horse unit is. I mean, where my cavalry unit is, so my artilleries won't get damaged, and that that cavalry would die, but it still doesn't matter. I would get my new units and take his capital. Nevertheless, it wouldn't really make a big difference. So now at this point I got his capital. He had like lots of wonders, and that was his only city. So he was started to be a bit rude there because he was mad because he lost. Um, he didn't realize that actually he was playing he was safe. He could advance while I was spending resources for my military units to take out Siamese. And okay, he lost, and he got mad because of it. So I don't mind. Anyway, we played one versus one game after this one, just because um, he was saying that I'm playing like a noob. Anyway, I did play like a noob, but still I played a lot better than he did. So we played one versus one. There's a game uploaded. You can see it if you want. So